back to the channel. It is the next day, and we are fiddling around. We have already we've already pulled a couple plugs out, and they're a little fat. Of course, you know, we're just idled, you know, we're just driving around, but still a little fat. So I will possibly may look at jetting this down just a little bit, just you know, for our own whatevers. And because this combo is pretty mild with the heads, so to speak, so may not quite, it doesn't quite need a 750. We can always put our 650 back on, like I said. We know it runs good. We know it's run good on this car, so we'll fiddle around. We're gonna look at the brake caliper right now. We're looking at putting our cutoff switch back. I've got to get a in for the battery cable. I thought I had one here. I don't. Probably facility. I'll go whenever I go eat lunch with Trees. I'll run by the store and get one. So otherwise, that's it. That's what we're doing. We have got our, we messed with our caliper a little bit, and now we are about to do some jet changes. Woo. 93 E3, baby. This is how frugal we are. We'll go dump this back in the fuel cell. Yummy for its tummy. Okay. So now see what's going on in here. We're going down some jet sizes no matter what. I'll probably go down. Let me see what's in it, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do. Let me get my rubber mallet. Got our rubber mallet. Gave it a tap. This is definitely something that I'm going to need to order extras of. Is gaskets. Here's another tussin tip. If you're going to be a carb guy, 73. If you're going to be a carb guy, get a jet tool. Don't use a screwdriver. I mean, you can, but just don't. Jet tools, next to nothing. It's like $6. 73s. Okay, say 69s. That's probably, I mean, I said 4 sizes, so it'd be a 69. Let me go get my jets. We'll do that real quick. We got our jets. So let's see what we got here. 69s. Let me put 73s. 73 hole. Alright, now for all you carburetor guys, don't make fun of me. I'm not a carb guy. I don't claim to be. I don't claim to be a carb guy. I like carbs. I mean, I like the way they look. I've always liked carbs. I know people on the channel are kind of like, man, you know, you're embracing the carb life. I was a carb guy before I was an EFI guy. I mean, I'm old enough to where when hot rodding, the EFI was the devil. I mean, when the Mustangs and stuff came out with EFI, I was like, what the hell, man? This stuff's garbage. So I'm you know. You also, when you're putting this back together, you want to make sure that you've got, you're not doing a bad thing, and you've got the accelerator pump arm in the right spot. You also, there we go, get in there, girl. You also don't have to get crazy torquing these down. I mean, you don't even really have to torque them. You just give them a snug. So you don't want to. Now this one is just a little, you might think I'm like really getting after it or something. It's not that, it's that it's the fitting for the fuel line kind of rubs the ratchet. Okay. Should be good enough. All right, front side's done. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the screw out of the back one, and but I need to go in and change real quick because it is now lunchtime, and like I said, I've got to run by. I gotta run by AutoZone. Come on, girl. Gotta run by AutoZone. Look at that. Just as good from the back bowl as it is from the front bowl. But yeah, I gotta go by AutoZone and get a or one of the part stores and get a cable end for a battery cable for a cutoff switch. So anyway, let me check, see what time it is. We'll be back in a few minutes. I know this is, again, I'm not a carb guy. I'm a guy like every other guy that doesn't know a whole lot about carbs. A lot of it's voodoo and black magic. I know it's very simple. It's just that you know, I'll learn enough or know enough about it to keep myself a little bit out of trouble, but by no means am I an expert, because that is the one advantage, or a advantage that EFI has, is changing weather conditions. EFI can, you know, compensate for that, whereas with a carburetor you have to do it through air bleeds and jets and stuff like that. I will say that one thing, much like the clutch cable deal, that I have found is this is just that work for me personally, is when there's a lot of adjustability, people tend to go crazy with it. And they like, I don't know if they overthink it, or because they have that adjustability, they feel like they have to constantly be adjusting it. Quick story, at work, we used to run production lines. Acrylic fiber is very, I don't know, it wasn't technical, but there was a lot of stuff that had to do with chemicals and heating and steam and how we had to run the process. We basically made what this shirt is made out of. We made the raw material that this thread's used in. You know, that's what we did. And when it was running good, and I worked in the production lines. I worked in fiber production, and I was what we called a line operator, which is kind of like a sergeant. You know, we had 4 production lines on our side of the plant, and I had 2 extrusion operators. I had a supervisor, and I was kind of the sergeant. Those 2 guys were kind of under me. We had 2 steamer operators that were under me, and we had toe box operators under me. And so when something broke, I called the maintenance guys, and you know, all this kind of stuff. But I also had to know how to run the lines, of course. But when things are running good, don't touch it. Leave it alone. But we had certain guys that when they would come in on their shift, they had to fiddle with it. They had to mess with the hot stretch temperature. They had to mess with the TiO2. They had to mess with the acid. They had to touch it. They could not leave it alone. They had to tweak the speeds. There was different sections of this thing that ran. It all ran on rolls and pulled and tugged, and we would make, you know, 2,000 pounds an hour of this stuff. The guys would be just fiddling with it, and then next thing you know, it's wrapping and messing up, and they're in it, and they spend a whole shift trying to get it back where it was. Leave it alone. If it's running good, leave it alone. So that's how I am like with the clutch. Clutch is working good, leave it alone. Little tweaks, don't touch it. Carburetor, working good, leave it alone. Don't touch it. Just leave it alone. You know, you get an air-fuel ratio, people will chase that forever. They'll just chase it and be like, oh God, I can feel it. It just, oh my God, did you hear how it started up? It literally only turned half a crank. It's boom, fired up. Last time I tried it, it went round, round and fired. Oh my gosh, I got it perfect now. I'm not that guy. So, all right, it's time for lunch. We had lunch at Fusakli's, and someone asked about the cat since the dogs are in the backyard. What's up, Puffle? Cheese Puff, the yard line. Stay outside, out front mostly. Get Cheese Puff. Shelby, these used to be like $2.99 a pack or $1.99. There's like $5. So now we can't have dog treats this week. Oh, okay. Okie dokie. Got our switch hooked up. It looks like garbage, but that's what all our stuff looks like. Works, that's all that matters. Well, sort of works. We are also about to JB weld our rearview mirror button on, so that when we put our rear hatch on, we'll have a rearview mirror, but we won't be able to see anything out the back window because it's so cloudy. So makes perfect sense to me, but I can see shadows back there. Wouldn't that be cool? We're back under the car. I glanced at a few comments, and it seems that most people think that it's lean, or a few people thought that it's lean. Now, it looks, the plugs are rich. So, again, while I may be going in the wrong direction here, we'll see. Now, for the record, the FLTD's got a 750 on it. It runs good. So, we'll see. The good news about this, technically, is that if I'm guessing, or if I'm going in the wrong direction, it's not technically a lot of work to go the other way. So we shall see. There was also a comment made that with the large plenum that this car has, that, you know, that could be some of the issue. I would say that the LTD's got, this doesn't have like a super big plenum on it, not compared to like a Victor Jr., not in my opinion. And the LTD's, it's got a Victor Jr. on it. So this is actually sort of a small intake. But again, I mean, I certainly don't know everything, or actually really know anything. 81s. So we're gonna go down. We're gonna go down to some 78s. And again, in the last video I said it runs really good at wider throttle. It's spinning the tires, so we don't really know how good it's running. It just spins the tires. And spinning the tires doesn't prove anything because it's not loaded. Got our jet extension. Someone also suggested a power valve change, and well, we don't have any. Now I also want to double check our carb nuts. We've also got the steering wheel cockeyed because we put the freaking shaft in back or in the wrong spot. But I'm not going to mess with that at the moment. I'm probably just going to leave it alone because one of the things that we're also going to be doing at some point soon is doing the power brake, getting rid of that, going to manual, and I'll fiddle with it then unless it starts really bugging me. So anyway, now we'll start this up and see what's what. I just started up, or try to. Was pretty drawn out. The float levels looked good. I'm gonna have to get a different fitting for that. I mean, we can go like race with it, but I'm gonna have to change that. It's just drip kind of a thing. I guess now, check the air in the tires. We can take it for a drive to see if we've made any kind of real improvement. So, well, that was a fail. Let's just call it a fail. It's not any better. So now I need to do a little digging around and see maybe what's going on. It's something that I can do now to help it. It's weird, I guess, but again, I mean, I'm not a carb guy. I've had a bunch of carbs. I say a bunch. I've had plenty of carbs back in the day, but that I didn't, they were on the cars and they ran good. Didn't have to really mess with them a whole lot. So now this one's got whatever's going on with it, and again, we'll have to figure it out. Well, we decided to go ahead and come out to the facility. We'll take the 650 off. it will have that. I want to also look at the accelerator pump cams. I mean, I just want to double check. I could take the ones off. I could take the 750 off the Pt.82, but I just don't want to take anything off that car. I took alternator off of it already. I don't want to take anything else off the car. I don't have to. So, because I got work I got to do to that car. To a few things I want to do to get that oil pan on it and stuff, so we can maybe race it a little bit. Anyway, but the carb that's on the Pro Stock right now, that's a carb that someone built. It's not a Holley that came from Holley, or that, whatever. Someone built that carb. They put those pump cams on. They didn't know what I was going to put it on or anything like that, but someone said, well, maybe that thing gives a shot. I mean, as soon as you even touch it, so maybe the pump cam's aggressive. Maybe the accelerator shot's aggressive. I don't know, because it doesn't seem lean. That's just me, though. I mean, again, not a carburetor expert. I did not stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night, so I don't even have that going for me. At least I could say I had that, but I don't. So anyway, let me get this carb off, and we'll head back home and kind of see what we got going on. Okay, well, we've got the, man, you guys are like really close to me. It's kind of weird. We got the carburetor off and some other carburetor parts that we may or may not need. And we've also got our vacuum gauge. The 750 that's on the car now, that is a race carburetor. It has no vacuum ports at all on it. You ain't supposed to check no vacuum on that. You bolt that thing on and just let it. So obviously that's what it's doing. It's sucking because we're sucking. So we're gonna get it figured out though. Like I say, the 650 will have something that we know runs good. If we put it on and it starts running weird, then we got something else going on. So, and the only other thing we've changed is the intake manifold. So but I'm not worried about that. So we'll go home, probably bolt the 650 on just to see where we're at, and then we can look at the 750. I don't really know. Some people suggested different power valves in it and stuff. I don't know. Need to see how much vacuum that thing's pulling and stuff. So anyway, we'll figure it out. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comment section. Our little bit of fuel line, and now let's see if it'll start. out of the devil. That's what Molly Cruz said. This carburetor. It was his car. Maybe he's like, hey, that's my car, man. I ain't loaning my junk out. I don't know. If this thing had a real set of heads, like some, you know, twisted wedges that were done up or something, it might do a little something. Plus, we've also got more lightweight stuff planned for it. Not a lot, but every little bit helps. See, with a rear view, I can watch for the po-po. We're not 100% out of the woods yet because this caliper is dragging again. Not technically as bad, but it's still dragging. Passenger side is good to go. This side's still dragging. So we'll probably take it out to the facility tomorrow. I think I've got a caliper out there that'll work. Pretty sure I do. We'll just swap it on, see what happens. But good news is we're getting closer. I know I'm just flooding you guys like with video. I just make them, I put them out as I make them. That's what I said I was going to do. When I started back doing YouTube, I wasn't going to save any. Tomorrow, the plan is load up the junk tires, the slicks, go to the facility, do something with the brake caliper, put the hatch on, make some rips with the tires on it. The 750, we're just gonna have to go into it, like I said. So anyway, this one's already getting a little lengthy, but you know, you guys just skip through it anyway. So thanks for dang, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go, damn it, tired. Thanks for commenting, as always. I haven't even really worked on any comments or looked at any comments from the last video, but I'm going to get to them. So thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all the ways you guys support the channel and all the ways you do. We certainly appreciate it. And you know what's next. Thanks for watching. And until next time on Substandard Leader in Fox Body videos on this here man's YouTube, 1 year only Lincolns, and Ford drag vans, we'll see you guys in the next one.